Here it is again. And just uses that speed to blow by the defense. It looked like it was just...
On August 1st, 2025, the Indiana Fever walked into the College Park Center in Arlington, Texas, determined to leave with a win. And they did just that, grinding out an 88-78 victory over the DallasWings in a game that kept fans on the edge of their seats until the final buzzer. But even more than the scoreboard or stat sheets, what made this night memorable for fans and, especially for the WNBA's ever-growing social media following was a lighthearted exchange between two superstars from very different worlds. Olympic gymnast Jordan Chiles and Indiana Fever rookie sensation Caitlin Clark, though sidelined with a nagging groin injury. Clark made the trip with her teammates, showing once again that her presence is felt far beyond the hardwood, whether she's lighting up the scoreboard or cheering from the sidelines. Caitlin Clark has become more than a basketball player. She's a cultural moment, a face of the league, and a magnet for fans, celebrities, and sports icons across disciplines. And on that warm Texas evening, one of those icons happened to be Jordan Chiles, an Olympic gold medalist, world-class gymnast, and known WNBA supporter who showed up dressed to impress in a dazzling outfit that fused glam with fandom, a custom, bedazzled WNBA jersey, towering thigh-high boots, and, most notably, a sparkling DallasWings hat that glimmered under the arena lights. What came next was a viral moment, unscripted, playful, and deeply human, reminding everyone that professional athletes, even at the top of their game, are fans too. As cameras rolled and fans snapped pictures, Jordan Chiles and Caitlin Clark met after the game for a quick chat and a warm hug. Despite not playing due to injury, Clark was her usual engaging self, smiling wide as she greeted Chiles, only to immediately notice the glittering DallasWings cap perched atop the gymnast's head. With perfect comedic timing and a friendly smirk, Clark called her out in the most relatable way possible. "Even though you had a DallasWings hat on," she said, half laughing, "I'll let it slide." The clip was later shared on Indiana Fever's official social media channels, quickly making the rounds across Instagram, TikTok, and X, formerly Twitter. The interaction was short but golden, just to powerful young women at the top of their respective games, ribbing each other like old friends. Chiles, unfazed and clearly enjoying the banter, replied, "Okay, look, I have a custom one. My best friend made me a custom one. I have one for each team." To which Clark, ever the Gen Z queen of quick reactions, replied simply, "That's fire." The moment was a small one in the grand scheme of things, but it resonated deeply with fans who followed Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise from college basketball phenom at the University of Iowa to one of the most talked about rookies in WNBA history. It also highlighted the increasingly visible cross-sport sisterhood forming among female athletes, a shared recognition that their influence transcends individual leagues. When Jordan Chiles shows up courtside in glomming gear, she's not just a fan, she's part of a larger movement to elevate women's sports. And Caitlin Clark recognizes that the WNBA is in the middle of a cultural renaissance, driven in no small part by the arrival of young, marketable stars like Clark, Angel Reese, and Cameron Brink. These athletes don't just play, they move culture, and interactions like the one with Chiles reflect that power in action. Clark, despite her current injury, has been staying involved on every level, from walking into arenas with style to sharing in huddles and team moments. Her leadership off the court is proving just as valuable as her record-breaking range and court vision. She's been vocal about staying mentally engaged during recovery, often seen on the sidelines clapping for teammates, breaking down plays, or smiling through media interviews. That kind of visibility matters, especially to young fans watching the game evolve in real time. And for Chiles, showing up in that hat, whether intentionally or just as a nod to the home team, was a reminder of how much the WNBA is starting to matter in broader pop culture. Over the last year, attendance has spiked, merchandise is flying off shelves, and WNBA games are now broadcast to global audiences who might have never tuned in before. A lot of that visibility is thanks to figures like Clark, who draw comparisons to Steph Curry for her limitless shooting range and commanding court presence. And also thanks to figures like Chiles, who amplify that reach by showing up, supporting, publicly, and dressing unapologetically in team pride. And let's talk about the style for a moment, because fashion has become a central part of how today's athletes build their brands. Chiles didn't just wear a Wings cap, she wore a look. The custom sparkle on the jersey, the confidence of the thigh highs, and that signature smile gave the whole moment an extra layer of swagger. Clark, with her trademark ponytail, sporty joggers and team warm-up jacket, countered with effortless, cool. Together, they were a reminder that the lines between sport, entertainment, and fashion are blurrier than ever. This isn't the first time Chiles has supported the WNBA either. A known advocate for women's sports, she's previously attended other league games, often bringing along fellow gymnasts or Olympic teammates, sometimes even matching outfits to the teams. She's talked openly in interviews about how inspired she feels by watching WNBA players compete at such a high level and how much she values the energy and community surrounding the games. And Clark, she's spoken frequently about how much she appreciates fans who show up even if they're wearing the wrong hat. It's all part of the fun, the rivalry, and the mutual admiration that comes when you're building something bigger than yourself. That's what's happening in the WNBA right now. The league is becoming a Viva place where excellence meets personality, and moments like this one between Clark and Chiles only fuel that fire. Off camera, sources say the two chatted longer than what was captured on video. They talked about the season, mutual friends, and future games Chiles might attend. There's even speculation among fans that Clark and Chiles could collaborate in some way in the future, whether through social media content, charity events, or shared brand campaigns. After all, brands love this kind of crossover, young, talented women from different sports showing off camaraderie, fashion, and fun in one snapshot. That's gold. What's also notable is how these small, candid exchanges often eclipse the games themselves in terms of media traction. The Fever's victory, though hard-fought and strategically solid, became secondary to the viral hug and hat moment between Clark and Chiles. And that's okay. Because part of growing a league is about narrative. It's about giving fans stories to follow, personalities to invest in, and reasons to keep watching even when the superstar is injured. Clark, sidelined but not silent, continues to make headlines not for what she does with the ball, but for how she connects with people. This all fits into the larger tapestry of Clark's rookie season. She's been under a magnifying glass since the WNBA draft, with every play, every comment, and every interaction dissected online. Some have criticized the intense scrutiny, saying it's unfair for a 22-year-old rookie to carry the weight of a league's marketing campaign. But Clark has handled the spotlight with grace, giving credit to her teammates, acknowledging her flaws, and still managing to crack a joke here and there. The moment with Chiles was one of those jokes, light, harmless, and steeped in sports culture. It reminded fans that even pros notice the little things. And it also sent a subtle message. Yes, you can support the other team, but just know I noticed. And that's why this story stuck. It wasn't just about fashion or fandom. It was about attention to detail, about Clark's presence even in absence, and about the WNBA's ability to craft viral moments that aren't just buzzer beaters or game winners. Sometimes, a playful line delivered with a smirk and a hug can mean more for the league's visibility than a triple-double. That's the power of presence. And that's what Caitlin Clark brings to the table even when she's not on the court. As the season continues and Clark inches closer to a return, moments like this are keeping the Fever's energy high and the fans engaged. And for Jordan Chiles, she cemented her place as more than just a courtside guest. She's part of the story now, a sparkling, thigh-high wearing symbol of support for women's sports. Whether or not she shows up in another rival team's hat remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, if she does, Clark will definitely notice, and we'll all be watching.
Vets. Well, there's no more of a fierce competitor than Caitlin Clark when it comes to trying to win anything.
If you were watching closely during the Indiana Fever's recent road game against the DallasWings on August 1st, you might have noticed something glittering in the crowd, something bold, sparkly, and full of personality. That would be Jordan Chiles, Olympic gymnast and fashion-forward sports fan, rocking one of her custom WNBA hats, this time in full support of the DallasWings. The hat, bright, bedazzled, and custom designed, was created by Hats by Holly, a small but rising brand known for turning headwear into high glam statements. Chiles gave the designer a shout-out on her Instagram story, tagging HOLIWOODSA hats and giving followers a close-up look at the dazzling accessory that had already caught Caitlin Clark's eye during their viral post-game hug. For fans now curious about where to snag their own blinged-out WNBA cap, that tag might have been the golden ticket. These aren't just any hats, they're part of a growing trend where women athletes and fans are blending high fashion with sports loyalty, making it clear that you can cheer from the sidelines and still slay the style game. And in Chiles' case, she's not stopping at one team. She's reportedly building a full collection of WNBA-themed hats, one for each franchise, each uniquely customized and ready to wear at upcoming games as she continues her courtside support of the league. Her presence, her outfits, and her love for the game have become part of the larger cultural ecosystem growing around the WNBA in 2025. There's even buzz that Chiles might return to support the Fever again, this time, potentially alongside fellow Olympic gymnast and four-time gold medalist Simone Biles at Indiana's upcoming home game on August 9th against the Chicago Sky. That appearance would mark a reunion of sorts, as Biles had previously made headlines herself by attending a Fever home game earlier this summer. On that occasion, she wasn't alone. She showed up at Gainbridge Fieldhouse with Olympic sprinter Gabby Thomas, and the two of them lit up the arena as they took in the action, supported the players, and eventually got to meet the entire Indiana Fever squad after the team edged out the Connecticut Sun in a tightly contested 84-80 victory. Biles posted photos from the event on her Instagram, posing with players and smiling from ear to ear, captioning the images with praise for the team's grit and the electric atmosphere. She called it her first of many WNBA games, and the crowd absolutely loved it. It's rare enough to see two Olympic goats in the same building, but when they're cheering for rising basketball stars like Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Nolissa Smith, the moment feels even bigger. It feels like a movement. This kind of celebrity and cross-sport visibility is exactly what the WNBA has been craving for years. And now, it's finally happening. When athletes from other sports, especially dominant, household name Olympians, like Chiles, Biles, and Thomas show up to WNBA games, not just as passive fans, but as active, visible supporters, it sends a powerful message about respect, solidarity, and community. It's not about promotion, it's about celebration. Women from different disciplines, with different journeys, coming together to raise the visibility of their peers. For the fans in the stands, it creates unforgettable memories. For the players on the court, it's affirmation. And for the league itself, it's a lifeline to culture, fashion, media, and audience expansion that traditional marketing could never buy. It's one thing to tell the world that the WNBA is worth watching. It's another thing entirely when Simone Biles shows up, front row, screaming her support like any other die-hard fan. And let's not forget Caitlin Clark, who, despite being sidelined with a lingering groin injury, continues to find herself at the center of these viral moments and cultural connections. Whether it's posing with Jordan Chiles and delivering the now iconic line, "Even though you had a DallasWings hat on, I'll let it slide," or waving to fans during warm-ups, Clark remains the face of not just her team, but the entire 2025 WNBA season. Her ability to stay connected, present, and uplifting even while not playing speaks volumes about her leadership and charisma. She's shown time and again that her impact stretches far beyond the stat sheet. From sold-out arenas to TikTok highlights, from ESPN headlines to sideline interviews, Caitlin Clark's presence continues to be magnetic. She's drawing celebrities, sponsors, and media attention to a league that has long deserved more, and she's doing it all without ever veering from who she is: competitive.